The universe isn't waiting for you to believe harder. It's waiting for you to stop checking whether it's working. The moment you stop looking for signs is the moment everything begins to move toward you. There is a truth that many seekers of love overlook. The very act of searching for signs is what slows down the manifestation of marriage. When you are constantly checking, questioning, and measuring progress, you are announcing to your own spirit that the union you desire is still missing, and whatever you declare as missing in your inner world cannot appear in your outer world. The heart that is truly convinced does not seek reassurance. The soul that is certain does not watch the clock. Manifestation speeds up the moment you stop waiting for proof, because the need for proof only exists where doubt still lives. Most people think their desire is the problem, but desire is not the issue. Desire is holy. Desire is the signal of alignment and calling. The issue is the emotional posture that follows the desire. When you desire from a place of fullness, confidence, and inner knowing, your desire is powerful. It moves mountains. But when you desire from insecurity, fear of loss, or fear of being unchosen, the desire becomes a plea. And a plea is very different from a command. The heart that pleads slows manifestation. The heart that knows speeds it up. When you constantly look for signs, whether a text, a dream, an angel number, or a shift in someone's tone, your spirit is essentially whispering, "I am unsure if this love is coming." And the universe, which reflects your state of consciousness, must respond. If you are unsure, then the result must remain uncertain. This is why some people wait months or years for a relationship breakthrough that could have occurred in weeks. Their outer world is simply mirroring their inner conflict. The moment you stop looking for signs is the moment the inner conflict dissolves and the manifestation finally has room to unfold. There is a deep difference between hoping and knowing. Hope still asks. Knowing rests. Hope wonders when. Knowing understands that timing is irrelevant because the outcome is already set. When someone is truly confident that marriage is coming, they do not refresh their phone, overanalyze conversations, or ask the universe for reassurance. They walk through life with a quiet grace, a calm presence, and a relaxed heart. And that state, that peace, is magnetic. It pulls the relationship toward you faster than any prayer said with desperation ever could. Marriage, in its true spiritual sense, is not formed by two physical people first. It is formed in the unseen realm, in the mind, in the inner chambers of imagination and belief. Emotion is the signature that seals it. When you feel married inside, when you feel chosen, claimed, valued, the outer world begins rearranging itself to reflect that identity. But the key is feeling it now, without waiting for it to show up physically first. The relationship must be real in your emotional world before it can be real in your physical world. Looking for signs places the reality outside you. Living from the feeling places the reality within you, and the outer world then follows. It may sound paradoxical, but the moment you no longer need the marriage to happen is the moment it begins to appear. Need implies lack, and lack repels the very thing you long for. When you feel full, when you feel worthy, when you feel chosen, without evidence, you send a powerful command to creation. It is already mine, and creation responds. This is not pretending. This is not forcing belief. This is becoming. Your identity is the magnet. When you embody the version of yourself who is already in the marriage, the world has no choice but to match your identity. This is why detachment is not about ignoring your desire. It is not about pushing love away or becoming emotionally cold. Detachment simply means releasing the anxiety around when and how it will happen. Detachment is the confidence of someone who knows they are already chosen in the unseen. Detachment is the love that does not chase because it already feels held. Detachment is saying, whether I see it yet or not, the marriage already exists in my spirit, and the physical world is merely catching up. When you reach this state, your energy shifts in a way that others feel immediately. The person you love senses it. The world senses it. The relationship begins to move. And something else beautiful happens. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop measuring timelines. You stop obsessing over outcomes. Instead, you fall into a natural rhythm of emotional fulfillment. Your heart becomes lighter. Your presence becomes more radiant. Your energy becomes more attractive. Love moves toward the one who does not fear losing it. Peace is perhaps the most magnetic frequency in existence. When your heart is still, love recognizes you as home. Ask yourself this gently. Who am I in relation to this desire? Am I the one waiting to be chosen, or am I the one who already knows they are chosen? Am I the one hoping for love to return, or am I the one whose love is already alive within? The truth is, your outer world is never ahead of your inner state. The relationship cannot appear until the identity is in place. If you want to marry in the physical world, become married in the emotional world first. So today, step into the version of yourself who no longer waits, searches, watches, or doubts. Step into the version who already is. Speak like someone who is chosen. Walk like someone who is valued. Rest like someone whose heart is already held. Do not ask for signs. Do not seek reassurance. Let your certainty become the sign. Let your peace become the proof. Let your heart become the home where love lands. Because when you stop looking for signs, the universe knows you are finally ready. When you stop needing proof, creation knows the manifestation has already taken root. And when the inner marriage is complete, the outer marriage has no choice but to appear. It is not a possibility. It is a spiritual law. And now it is already in motion. When you are constantly searching for signs, checking for confirmation, or waiting for any small shift to prove that your manifestation is underway, you are quietly telling yourself that the marriage isn't real yet. The mind that is truly certain does not need evidence to relax. The heart that knows does not ask for reassurance. Every time you look for signs, you reaffirm the idea that you are still separate from the outcome you desire. This separation becomes a barrier that delays the physical expression of your union. The universe responds not to what you say, but to what you feel is true. When you stop looking for signs, you dissolve the emotional distance between where you are and where you want to be. Trust replaces doubt. Peace replaces urgency. Certainty replaces fear. And the moment this shift happens within you, your manifestation finally has the open pathway to arrive without resistance. To manifest marriage, you must feel chosen long before anyone chooses you outwardly. When your inner world is rooted in the identity of someone loved, valued, and emotionally secure, your outer world begins to reflect these truths. The person who believes in their lovability radiates a calm confidence that others naturally respond to. Becoming the chosen one in your mind creates an emotional frequency that calls the relationship toward you. If you continue to see yourself as someone waiting to be selected, you remain in a state of longing and delay. But when you embody the energy of already belonging, your behavior, tone, presence, and radiance shift effortlessly. You no longer walk with questions, you walk with assurance. You do not chase connection, you attract it. Your soul becomes a place where love feels welcomed and safe to enter. And soon it does. The universe responds to your emotional climate, not your spoken intentions. Words are surface-level vibrations, while emotion is the deeper signal that shapes reality. You could say affirmations for years, but if your heart is filled with doubt, fear, or insecurity, the manifestation remains slow. Emotion is the engine of creation. When you feel loved, secure, confident, and complete, you transmit a frequency that aligns with harmonious relationships. When you feel uncertain, unworthy, or anxious, you transmit distance and delay. You must become emotionally aligned with the experience of being in a fulfilled marriage before it can materialize. This alignment is not pretending. It is choosing to live from your desired reality instead of your current circumstances. When the emotional state shifts, the environment adjusts automatically. What you feel consistently becomes what you live physically. Letting go of searching, waiting, and worrying is not the same as giving up. Detachment simply means your energy is no longer entangled in desperation or need. When you detach, you release the emotional pressure that suffocates your manifestation. You stop clinging to outcomes or timelines. You stop measuring progress. You stop forcing signs to appear. Instead, you settle into trust. Trust in the unseen process. Trust in your inner knowing. Trust in the divine timing of alignment. Detachment allows your energy to soften and relax, making your aura more open and inviting. Love gravitates to the person who is not imprisoned by fear of losing it. The one who trusts is magnetic. The one who fears is repellent. When fear dissolves, love moves freely toward you. Your identity determines the shape of your relationships. You are loved not because you convince someone to love you, but because you embody the characteristics of someone who is already loved. People respond to how you see yourself. If you silently believe you are at risk of being abandoned, you act from insecurity, and insecurity creates distance. If you believe you are worthy of devotion, you carry yourself with a steadiness that invites loyalty. Identity is the core signal you send to the world. It is not enough to desire marriage. You must become the version of yourself who already feels like they belong in one. When identity shifts, reality has no choice but to shift with it. Become the version of you who is loved, and the world will meet you at that level. The energy of peace is magnetic. When you stop chasing love, stop asking for reassurance, and stop fearing loss, your presence becomes powerful. There is something irresistible about a person who is calm within themselves. Peace signals emotional maturity, self-respect, and spiritual grounding. It tells the universe, I am not lacking anything, I am whole. This wholeness draws the right person closer because love is attracted to stability. When your heart is anxious, it sends out signals of yearning, and yearning pushes love away. But when your heart is rested, love recognizes you as safe. Peace is the invitation. Peace is the magnet. Peace is the quiet language that tells life you are ready to receive. Your manifestation accelerates when your inner world stops demanding proof. When you rely on signs, you delay the experience, because your dependence on evidence reveals your disbelief. But when you release the need to verify, you affirm that the marriage is already spiritually complete. The universe moves quickly where resistance is absent. Your task is not to chase, not to monitor, not to predict, but to live as if the result is already yours. When your emotions, identity, imagination, and expectations align with the reality of being already chosen, the physical world adjusts to match what your spirit has already accepted. The moment your inner world stops asking for proof is the moment your outer world begins to deliver it.